that's a XO Mega Swammer. It's a bigger bait, but if you're looking for big fish, probably a good way to go. You might notice that I use a lot of long rods.
Okay.
For a short guy like you?
For a short guy like me, I use some pretty long rods. Yeah. But a swim bait is something that's been very popular. It's nothing new, really. I mean, we've had baits with this type of tail forever. You know, we used to have the sassy shad. You know, there's all kinds of baits that used to have this kind of tail. And see, my bait's all ripped up here. But so lots of action, catches lots of water, moves a lot of water. This is a jig I really like using with these, and that's called a FinTech Title Shot. This happens to be a Magnum Title Shot because it's got a big, I think that's an 8/0 hook on that. And what's nice about it, it's real easy to rig. I just push that through the nose of the bait, and then you line it up here. My bait's torn, so it's not going to be as good, but and then I know where to come through. And by doing this, and if I pull back and just expose it, then that bait's totally weedless. So I can pretty well pull that through anything without catching weeds. Okay, and with a swim bait, you can fish it again so many different ways. You can jig it, you can let it go down, but if you're fishing shallow water, you can wake it right on top. Just have it come across the surface, and that's a fun way to fish. It's like topwater fishing, especially I like early season pike when they're real shallow. It's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, you run into a lot of bass too at that time. If you do, let them go right away. And if you happen to catch a few bass and it's out of season, not that it happens very often, but if there's a seal around, if you've caught like 2 or 3 bass, you really should leave. Okay? Because if they watch you and you've caught more than a few bass and you stay there, they can actually charge you for targeting bass, whether you keep them or not. Just the fact that you're targeting bass out of season, they can actually charge you. So if you catch a couple bass in an area, that's not what you're fishing for anyways. You might want to move along and go fish somewhere else. Okay, just to save anybody from having any problems. But swim bait come in all kinds of different sizes. You saw them on the Alabama rig. You saw them on my spinner bait, mini ones. So they have lots of purposes. You can even use them as trailers on a jig. And I noticed one of my rods is the wrong rod, but because the other thing I was going to talk to you about, how about a flipping jig? How many people like a flipping jig here?
I love it.
Why do you love a flipping jig?
It's a bigger bite.
Catch faster.
It's a big fish bait. It is. It really is. If you have a chance and you can track down all the records of the tournaments that are won over the years, I bet you there's more big fish awards have been won on a jig than any other single lure out there. Okay, because it is a big fish bait. If I'm in a tournament and let's say I have fish and I might have 15 pounds, well, you know what? Catching a 3-pounder is not going to help me. Okay, so I don't want to catch a lot of fish. I just want to catch the right fish. So for me, a lot of times, if I'm fishing largemouth for the rest of the day, that's what I'll throw. I'll just throw a jig for the rest of the day, and hoping for a big bite or a couple big bites to increase that bag. Okay, a flipping jig, sorry, like I said, I came back from Nipissing. I grabbed a bunch of rods. I thought I had my jig rod there, and I don't. But there's a couple of things that.
You got it.
No, I just realized that.
I want 还有一个是 swimming bait， 可能大家很多人没用过。swimming bait 就是 swimming 这不能就是游泳的 bait， 这种它是钓 pike、钓 walleye、钓 bass 都在用，是个也真用很大，就是基本表现手法呢也很一般，就是你扔出去之后借个也可以，就往回拉也可以。刚刚David 讲那个，就是你在 bass 没有开机之前。你如果钓 bass 的话，在一个区里面，你如果钓有2个 bass 或3个咬钩的话，你最好离开那个区，不要再钓了。你如果继续钓的话，警察可能掐着你，就说你 target bass， 就你的目标就在吊把式，虽然你不留把式，但你在吊把式，警察以这个理由可以charge你。另外还有一个就是大家用的比较少，就是这个flipping jig。flipping jig 呢，它是用的主要是钓大鱼。David 说他如果是一天钓了15磅 tournament， 如果再钓了3磅的鱼，对他没有害。说他要钓大鱼，说他剩下的时间就是全部用 flipping jig， 就是目标1个或2条大的鱼。说 flipping jig 是钓大鱼的饵。从以前的比赛的所有的记录来讲，大部分也是用 flipping jig 钓的最大鱼，就是 flipping jig 钓大鱼。
Sorry, I thought it was in my pocket, but
今天 flipping
what I
jig
was going to tell you about flipping jigs is I'm sure if you've thrown a flipping jig, you know last couple of years mini jigs have become really popular, more compact mini jigs. So probably not going to see them for maybe another month or so. But VOC has a new mini jig, couple of styles of mini jigs coming out. Nice thing about them, they're made out of living rubber. The skirt, so a lot more action when it falls. It really opens up like that. It's got a XXX owner hook on it. Nice. There's 2 styles. There's a swimming jig style, so you can swim them, and the other one would be designed more for going through weeds and through wood and everything. I'm sorry, I thought I had them here, but yeah, the Bach. You've seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
上个星期二就是
Real nice jig.
现在现在这2年流行的除了 flipping jig 有一个叫 mini jig， 比较小一点 jig。现在我们就是鱼会很多人用包壁关，它有几个很好的结构，非常漂亮。就是它这用那个 living rubber， 那个 skirt 是用 living rubber 做的，进去之后表现非常好，颜色什么都非常漂亮。那天我就看戴维拿几个很漂亮。
更多的像日系的机，
对，它有点。刚开始
始
看的时候，我以为是 OSP， 但是一看它不是 OSP， 比 OSP 还漂亮。
对。
比 OSP 整个投出，而且一个放到那个形状非常好。我不知道包比在线有货吗？
还没上市，马上过来。
包比关它这会，包比关现在它 carry 很多东西。Archer Thompson 就是这个 Archer Thompson 就是那个千瑞是包比关，还有是 Lucky
Trout。Vogue 这个品牌，它旗下的 Spinner Bay 啊，包括咱们刚才看的。
对，今年它 Spinner Bay 的 Frog， 还有这种，它很多东西会进来，所以它的东西一般还是它是质量上这跟 Macbus 的看齐，但是价钱上要低很多，
便宜很多
啊，便宜很多。所以大家如果是有需要的话，就是到碧水或者找包比，就是还比较好的，质量很好。我看那个钩啊什么都很锋利 ，hook 很好。
So I'm going to kind of close off where I started with drop shotting. Okay? And just to show you how versatile drop shotting is,